So right now, Nicholas, you're living with your mom and Luna.
Yes.
And you've been living with your mom and Luna, who was 3, and I assume she was a puppy when you got her.
Yes.
And I assume that based upon what your father has told me, is that Nicholas, while Luna was living with you, cared for, in his own way, despite the fact that he almost ate a battery. Luna was in his room. He treated Luna as if the dog was his dog.
Well, his chore was to take care of the dogs. The dog did...
There were 2 dogs. His chore was to take care of both dogs.
He took both dogs to his room. He was allowed to take both dogs to his room if he cleaned up after him. So then there was a point where, and that's why he got mad at me, he wasn't cleaning up after him, so I said, they need to go out. We live on a farm. I have a few acres with horses and so on. I said, the dog is going to go out by the barn in a doghouse. And that's where he really got upset and wanted to take it to his mom's and stay with his mom, because I would no longer allow the dog to be in the house if he wasn't going to clean up after her.
Who takes care of the other dogs in your house?
So Chloe takes care of the horses and the other animals. So each child has kind of their own.
Fine. So Chloe takes care of the horses.
Now Anthony, my other son, takes care of BB, who's the last dog that's left.
And your other son, he's 10.
No. So we have 5 children between us, and 3 years ago I met a girl, and she had 2 kids where the dad wasn't really involved. So I've pretty much taken them in. I consider them my daughter and son as well. And he's 14, same as Chloe. And
so he takes care of BB.
He takes care of BB now. And he ought also, because remember, Nico was only there half the time. So when Nicholas was gone, he was the one that would fill in for Nico, taking care of BB and Luna.
Unless it was during those times when Nicholas took...
It was very rare, yes.
Unless it was during those times that Nicholas took Luna to his mother's house.
But then he still took care of BB, because BB wasn't going to Angela's house.
Who?
Anthony.
Anthony,
yeah.
Your girlfriend's son.
Yes.
So other than those few times when Luna stayed at home, when your son went to his mother's house, and since February of this year, Luna has been full-time with Nicholas.
So, Your Honor, we went to Spain in November, and before that, Luna had only went to Angela's house 1 time. Literally, I have the text message where... So only after November did she start going more often to Angela.
Fine. So would you say that after November of last year, that Nicholas started to spend more time at his mother's and take Luna with him?
Not every time.
I didn't say every time, but you just said it's more
he started
often
to take her
in
more
November.
often, yes,
So
exactly.
now we're talking about December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August.
So in January 16th, Angela wrote me a text message asking if I could reconsider allowing him to take her.
I got that.
So in May, I requested the dog back. It's just been that long since May.
I don't care whether you requested the dog back. You know, I understand what your situation is, and I honestly believe that you think you're right. Your son broke a contract with you.
Well, so I have other kids that aren't at Angela's house, right? I have 3 other kids now. I have Anthony and Leah, and then we had a baby in April that have all been involved with Luna, too. They don't get to see Luna at all. It's a family dog that I bought. Matter of fact, actually, Nicholas never asked me for the dog. Chloe is the one. That's why I had her here with me. Chloe asked to buy the dog as early as August of 2015, and we looked at...
How did Chloe feel about Luna going to stay with her mother? How did you feel about that?
Well, I think Nico had mainly, cared for her, so I think that he was really attached to her, so...
Okay. Okay, I'm not going to ask her anymore. You seem like a family that's got it all together, and I'm not going to put one person against the other. I've sort of got the situation in my head. Mr. Pitcher, I think you are a good father. I think you are a good, loving, caring father. I think that you want to see the best for your children. I think that right now and for the last 8 months, which is almost a third of the dog's life, the dog
Your
has...
Honor,
I'm speaking. The dog has lived with his primary caretaker, which is Nicholas. Nico, is that what they call you? The dog is 3. He's been primarily with Nico for the last 8 months, which is a third of his life. Now, to bring him back to your house, that would mean that I am disrupting not only your son, but I am disrupting the dog.
No, the dog...
This is not a give and take, Mr. Pitcher.
Your Honor,
Mr. Pitcher, did you hear how I sat quietly and listened to you give me information on which I have to make a judgment? What I'm saying to you is, very simply, I either remove the dog from one child, and I'm speaking, and put it in another child. Right now,